US President Joe Biden is all set to embark on a crucial visit to Israel, West Bank and Saudi Arabia as part of a 4-day trip to West Asia. The visit, which aims to start a new chapter of America's engagement in West Asia, comes at a time when the US is trying to find solutions to boost oil supply to tame the soaring price rise. Reports suggest that Biden will confront a list of challenges when he travels to West Asia this week. The Israeli-Arab cooperation, Iran nuclear deal talks, and of course the long-dragged Israel-Palestine conflict, which are all likely to dominate the agenda. In Saudi Arabia, Biden is likely to push for more Saudi oil output in the hopes of curbing skyrocketing fuel costs and inflation back at home. During a news briefing on Monday, the U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said that the U.S. needs to remain intensively engaged in West Asia because the region is deeply interwoven with the rest of the world.
It is his first trip to the Middle East as president. It is precisely because the world is becoming more geopolitically competitive, especially in the Indo-Pacific and Europe, that we need to remain intensively engaged in the Middle East. The Middle East is deeply interwoven with the rest of the world. And if we act now to create a more peaceful and stable region, it will pay dividends for the American national interest and for the American people for years to come.
Biden's upcoming West Asia tour has made headlines for several reasons in the recent past, including his stop at Saudi Arabia and a meeting with Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. In an opinion piece to Washington Post, President Biden cleared his stance, saying that his views on human rights are clear and long-standing and that the issue of fundamental freedoms will be part of discussions in the upcoming visit. This can be seen as a reference to Saudi journalist Khashoggi's killing. U.S. intelligence concluded that MBS was responsible for the killing of Jamal Khashoggi, an allegation that Saudi officials have time and again denied. The president even mentioned that his administration has reversed the Trump-era blank check policy, highlighting the bans and sanctions issued against Saudi officials. Biden says his visit to Saudi Arabia is necessary in positioning the U.S. to counter Russian aggression and to outcompete China. Last month, Biden had sought to distance himself from mentions of the Saudi Crown Prince and had emphasized that his trip includes the meeting with King Salman and other officials. But this week, the White House, in an official announcement, said that he will also visit MBS as a member of a larger delegation while on the trip. Biden's West Asia tour will not only be all about Israel, the West Bank and Saudi Arabia. Biden will also participate in a key meeting of the newly formed I2U2 grouping, which consists of India, Israel, the UAE and the US, and they will all hold the first virtual summit this week. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi, US President Joe Biden, Israel's Yair Lapid and the UAE President Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan will all attend the summit. Some have called this the West Asian Quad. Discussions on food security, the food security crisis amid the Ukraine war, the economic cooperation required, and of course, infrastructure projects are all expected to be the focus area during the summit. And for more details, our correspondent Jody Cohen is now joining us live from Ra'anana, Israel. Jody, thanks for joining us. My first question, what will be the top challenge facing Biden as of now in this West Asia tour? He has already said that his stance on human rights remains clear, and it will also be a part of these talks. How will that be perceived?
Well, for Israel, number one, number two, number three will, of course, be Iran. Iran now is thought to have enough enriched uranium for a nuclear bomb, and the focus will really be on preventing Iran's ability to place a nuclear bomb on a missile. That's the top priority for Israel. It's also a top priority for the United States and for others in the region, such as Saudi Arabia. Now, we're hearing that the US is considering allowing offensive arms sales to Saudi Arabia as part of efforts to counter the threat from Iran. And of course, as part of that, Biden wants to see a ceasefire in Yemen maintained. Talks on that are said to be in their early stages. We can expect to see Biden approve US talks on sales of Israel's Iron Beam defense system. We're also hearing that Israel will update President Biden on the MEAD alliance against Iran. That's the Middle East Air Defense Alliance, which Iran has said is doomed to fail and will increase tensions. Others, though, see it as a way not only to stand up to Iran, but also potentially to avoid nuclear proliferation across West Asia. And in the latest news, we're hearing that Iran could be providing Russia with armed drones. And so
Right, we have some technical difficulties right there. We'll try and get our correspondent Jody Cohen back on the broadcast as soon as possible. WION World is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.